up, guys? Back again. Just another day in the life episode. Got a pretty cool day planned today. Starting it off with a chiropractor adjustment, doing some acupuncture, something I do twice a week. So figured I'd show you guys part of my morning routine on some days of the week. We're gonna hit a workout and sit down and have just a conversation and talk about a few things that's going on in my life. Then also to show you the new little podcast setup that I did at the house, and also give you a preview of episode 2 that we're recording today. So let's get into it.
All right. We are good, my friend.
Just got finished up with chiropractor adjustment, got the acupuncture. And I do this twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday, just to add to my health routine and just make sure I'm treating my body as good as possible and just doing the stuff that most people don't do. And for me, it's made a huge difference in the way I feel, especially my back. I've always had a little bit of back pain and all that kind of stuff, and just getting adjusted twice a week has been a game changer. And then acupuncture too. A lot of people, I know they don't believe in it and they don't think it does anything. For me, I've seen benefits, and we treat different things each week depending on how I'm feeling or what I'm going through and all that. But I'd say the thing I get most out of it is just I have 30 minutes of just relaxation time, meditation. I get to just lay there in my thoughts and just go through everything I'm going through and just process everything, and it's just in a relaxing time, and I'm also benefiting my body. But yeah, I use upper body. It's chiropractic full day, I believe today. You find out on Instagram and does house calls. We're just gonna go through the motions, get it done. I'll make sure to see what else we get into. Information on the video, so you could reach out to him if you're interested. He's the one that sets up the acupuncture as well, so I highly recommend his services. But yeah, about to go hit a upper body pull day, I believe today, and we're just gonna go through the motions, get it done, and then let's see what else we get into. Just going with the flow and not having a proper setup, just because I didn't want to hesitate. I didn't want to come up with the excuses as to why I can't do a podcast, because I truly think the message is more important than the equipment. So I didn't want to allow that to hold me back as to why I couldn't release my first episode. And then after my first episode, just sat down and thought about it. It's like, why not just commit to a small little setup? And again, this was nothing, as you can see, it's nothing crazy. I just decided to get a Rode podcast mic, got the arm, decided to get a little IKEA couch, side table, got the lights going, and it's really nothing crazy. And I think a lot of people, they focus too much on the little details like this. Yeah, it's not the perfect setup. Is it going to be my permanent setup? No, but this is just the stage that I'm at. I have to hit the ceiling of this certain stage before I decide to move to the next level and decide to step up into a podcast studio or something like that. So this is the new setup. So when you see the podcast come out video-wise, this is where we're doing it, and just super excited for the future and just super excited to keep growing and keep progressing in this process. You need to take action. Too many men overthink and never start. But what they don't realize is progress beats perfection. Start messy. Start confused. Start doing something you don't know. You just have to learn as you go. This social media journey, this podcast, for me, that's exactly what it's been. I haven't allowed myself to overthink it. I haven't allowed myself to be convinced that this is not going to work because I don't know this, I don't know that. I would have never been in front of this camera before. I am now sitting by myself talking to a camera for 15 minutes. when before I didn't even know what to say for 15 seconds. But that's because I was so worried about making sure everything was perfect, making sure that I was going to say the right thing, making sure that this person was going to think this about me. Who gives a crap? Just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. You need to just execute and figure it out along the way. Told you guys last week I'd be letting you guys know which is the better of the two shoes that I ended up getting on the blog for running. I had the Asics Nova Blast 5s and then the Adidas Evo SLs, and I wanted to kind of give you guys 5 categories of where I rate them 1 through 5 and then give my personal opinion on the shoe overall. So the first one we'll talk about is the Asics Nova Blast 5s. I've honestly really enjoyed this shoe. It's been probably my favorite running shoe that I've gotten so far. And let's go through the categories of how I'm going to grade them. So the first category is comfort, and I think this is where this shoe kind of excels over others. Is the comfort is just on a different level, and most shoes that are focused on comfort can't really handle different things. They're usually more of just like a everyday runner, and they're usually more on the heavier side. But this one is just super light, super comfortable. So for comfort, I'd rate this a 4 out of 5, just because it's like super comfortable and there's literally no complaints when it comes to that. Next category is the fit and support. It's like, does it provide a stable feeling when you're running? Because that sometimes could be an issue with certain shoes. And really, I haven't had any issues with stability in this shoe. My foot always feels secured and tight in here. And honestly, every run that I've gone has been good. So when it comes to the fit and support, I'd say that's another 4 out of 5. And when it comes to performance, how well does it hold up during the workouts? I'd say it over delivers as well. And again, I'm not giving it a 5 on anything because I don't think anything is perfect. So I'd say on performance wise, 4 out of 5 because this shoe could literally, it could handle it all. I mean, you could go for a short, like a slow distance run or just a slow regular run, or if you want to pick up the pace and go fast on them, they can handle it. Like for example, the first run that I did with these, I broke my PR on a mile and on 5K time. So I mean, if you're looking for something that could handle everything, including speed, I highly recommend these. And then the last category to grade it on is style and aesthetic. Like how do the shoes look? I mean, looks wise, I wouldn't say this is anything crazy or eye catching. I think it's more of just like a traditional running shoe, how they all look. So, I mean, for style and aesthetic, I'd probably rate this a 3 out of 5. And if I had to give the shoe an overall grading, I'd probably say it's a 4 out of 5 because I think this is a shoe that no matter what level of running you're at, you can benefit from, and just it's going to provide you whatever you need no matter what you throw at it. All right, so now we're going to talk about the Adidas Adizero Evo SLs. A lot of hype on these shoes online, so I wasn't originally going to the store for them. I was originally going for the Asics, but when I saw them in person, I just decided to say, screw it, let's get them and see how they are and see if they live up to the hype. So let's start off with the first category, comfort. It's overall very comfortable shoe. So I'd say it's a little bit more stiff and firm than the Asics, but by no means is this an uncomfortable shoe. I think the biggest discomfort on the shoe is this tongue because it sits so low that it could be bothersome to some people. I think that's really the biggest downfall for this shoe. But as far as comfort goes, I'd say I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. Overall, very comfortable shoe. For fit and support, overall, no complaints when it comes to that. I think it's a great shoe when it comes to the fit and the support and how your foot feels in the shoe. So, I mean, for that category, I would say I'd give it a 4 out of 5. For performance, I think this is another shoe that could technically handle any kind of run, whether it's long, slow run or you're going for a speed day. I mean, I'd probably, for this shoe, I'd lean more to wearing it when I do want to pick up the speed. It is a very light shoe and it does give you enough support for the weight of it. So, I mean, performance wise, I'd say 4 out of 5. And then for durability, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, it's a very quality shoe. You could tell the materials are made with quality, and it's not just a cheap shoe. But so I mean, durability wise, I'd say 4 out of 5. It'll last you a good amount of miles. I mean, I try to track them on my Garmin app, and I try to get at least 400 miles per shoe. Some shoes last that long. Some shoes will die out before that. Again, I haven't done a lot of miles in them yet, so I can't really judge that too much. But overall, I'd say 4 out of 5. And then style and aesthetic, I think this is where the shoe excels, especially compared to the Asics. I mean, looks wise, this does catch your eye as far as a running shoe goes, because most shoes they do look like the Asics, and they all have this certain look of a running shoe. I think this is the one shoe that goes outside of that box and brings more style and creativity when it comes to the aesthetic of the shoe. So I mean, when it comes to aesthetics, I'd say this is a solid 4 out of 5. It's a good looking shoe and it'll catch attention. As far as an overall grade, I'd say overall grade, I'll give this shoe. I guess I'd give it a 4 out of 5 as well. I did have higher expectations for it just based off what I read and heard from other people. It's not a bad shoe, but I guess I just had super high expectations on it. But overall, it's definitely a shoe I recommend. But I do think the Asics are more beginner running friendly than these are. All right, so now to just do a side by side comparison and kind of pick which one I would recommend. Both great shoes, both super quality and hyped, and I'd say for a reason. But if I were to recommend a shoe to someone asking me what running shoes they should get, I would probably go with the Asics just because I truly believe that this shoe can handle every situation better than the Adidas. I think this shoe you could go for extreme long runs, you could go on fast paces, you could go walking, you could pretty much do anything in these Asics, and I think the Adidas is just more of a I'd say this is more beginner friendly and this is more a shoe that once you know your pace, you know your style of running and kind of know what kind of runner you are, this is more of a shoe that I would lean for in that. And surprisingly, when it comes to walking, these actually do feel great to walk in because a lot of times I'll walk in my running shoes, but they feel good running. But when it comes to walking, it doesn't feel the same. I think the Adidas is very good to handle both walking and running. But if I were to pick one to recommend to someone, I'd definitely pick the Nova Blast 5. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for today's vlog. Hope you enjoyed it. Got to see some stuff that I do on a weekly basis. Showed you guys the review of the shoes. Saw the new podcast setup. A little preview of episode 2 of the Momentum podcast. So make sure you guys are subscribed to that, following the page. We're going to be giving you guys weekly episodes and just building from there. I mean, every week we're coming up with something new. We're progressing. We're getting better. And that's just the goal. It's just to show you the journey of progress over perfection and just continuously growing, getting uncomfortable, and just learning new things along the way. Again, this is a new process for me. This is a new journey. And I'm just figuring it out. I'm not waiting or procrastinating. I'm just doing. And today's also a very exciting day for me. Tonight I get to go to the hospital because my daughter is finally being born. The 9 months have come up. And again, another new journey that I'm embarking on and creating a new purpose in life and just now I'm bringing a human being into this world that's relying on me, and I got to show up even more now. I got to be better. I got to be the best man possible. I got to be present and just keep winning. Again, not only for me, but for her, but for my wife. And just super excited. And it's just a humbling experience to actually reach this day that we've been waiting for so long. And it hasn't felt real, I guess, until today, because today's the actual day it's happening. So again, thanks for coming along this journey. Thank you for continuously supporting everything that I've been doing. And I promise, as long as you keep supporting, as long as you keep showing up, I'm going to show up even better. And I'm just going to keep delivering more valuable content and just stepping up the game. So thanks again. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.